What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode. Finally back. It seems like ages since I've uploaded a video here on YouTube. Sorry about that. I've just been super busy with life and a ton of work in general. But now we're finally back, and hopefully we will get this Micra ready for some track use by the end of this video. So with me here I got some parts laying right here. First and foremost, we've got the rear main seal that I need to replace again probably. And while I'm taking out the gearbox again, it's a perfect opportunity to replace all of the transmission and motor mounts. I've ordered a complete new set right here from Hard Race. These ones are made out of hardened rubber, so they are reinforced compared to the stock ones, so it will be a pretty good upgrade for sure. And then right here I've got some OEM PCV valve from Nissan directly from the dealer, because I thought before I go ahead and just tear down the gearbox again, it's a good idea to check the state of the crankcase ventilation system. I've actually already cleaned the PCV valve, but I thought it's worth a shot to just replace it with a brand new OEM one, because if I don't have to tear down the gearbox again, that's obviously a bonus. So it's worth a shot to just replace the PCV valve, see if that solves the issue. Otherwise, obviously, I need to take down the gearbox once again and replace that rear main seal. And also, in this video, I will go ahead and fix the rust in the rear strut tower, so that will be really interesting. We'll see how that will turn out. So yeah, without further ado, let's just get right to work.
So the first thing I'm gonna do is to replace that PCV valve, because if you do have excessive amounts of crankcase pressure, it can sometimes lead to an oil leak. But honestly, I checked over the crankcase ventilation system not too long ago, but I figured it's worth a shot to just try to replace that PCV valve to a brand new one.
So there we go, the PCV valve is replaced, and I also actually quickly off camera just disconnected every hose that connects to the PCV system and blew them through just with the air from my lungs to see if they were clogged or anything. They all checked out fine, nothing is clogging them or anything like that, so the PCV system is as good as it's going to get. So I guess let's just start up the car and go out for a test drive, because as it is right now, it's actually drivable. I drained out the engine oil that I filled the gearbox with in the last episode and just filled that up with the cheapest gearbox fluid that I could find. So yeah, it's actually drivable as it is right now. So let's go ahead and start it up, go for a test drive and see if the problem persists.
Unfortunately, as we can see, the car still leaks, and that only means one thing. We need to redo this job once more, so let's get the car up in the air and start to remove the gearbox. If you want to see the gearbox removal in more detail, I'd suggest you to go check out the latest video on this Micra, so I'm not gonna bore you with showing that footage in depth once more. Instead, I'm just gonna show you the highlights and focus more on changing out the transmission and motor mounts. The main transmission mount did not come installed on the bracket, so I need to press the old one out and the new one in, and as we can see, it needs to be installed in a specific way, so I just made a couple of taps to mark where the new one should go when I press it in. Now, I didn't have any black paint left in my workshop, so I went with silver instead, but I think it ended up very good anyway.
Oh yeah, before I forget, I noticed some rattling on the test drive, the quick little test drive right here, and I'm pretty sure it comes from this heat shield right here. But that's easily fixed with just a hose clamp, clamping it down. That will probably solve the issue, so let's try that. Hose clamp in place, no more rattling.
So with that little thing being taken care of, let's remove the transmission for hopefully the last time in a very long time. And indeed, here we can see that leaky rear main seal just because it got sent out with the wrong instructions. But before I go ahead and take care of that, I'm just going to replace these two lower mounts beneath the engine. And then let's replace this other mount that's towards the rear of the car.
Now I realized I should have done this mount before I did this mount, because it seems like I need to take off this cross member right here. So yeah, but no big deal. Let's just remove this cross member and this lower bolt right here. And then I will probably be able to get to those two bolts that hold this mount to this cross member.
Now honestly, this mount seemed to be in pretty good condition, so I probably didn't even need to replace it, but while we're here, why not just replace it? And there we go, both of the lower mounts are replaced. The only one left is the main motor mount, but I'll do that later in this video. So let's continue by replacing that leaky rear main seal, and this time I'll definitely make sure to grease it up and oil it up real good. And here we can actually see where the sealing surface got torn as a consequence of starting it up dry. And there we go, the new seal is in, so let's throw everything back on.
There we go, the gearbox is finally attached. It was a real struggle getting it on there alone. In the last video I had some help, as you saw in that video. Definitely it's easier if you're two persons, but I managed to get it on in the end. But anyways, we're almost ready to test start everything. I'm just going to change the engine oil, because it was almost a year ago I changed that. And this time it's time to refill it with some proper transmission fluid from Castrol, and this time I will also use some RTV on the plugs as per the manual, so that we don't have a small leak there. And as we can see right here, I refitted the new transmission mount and this new motor mount, the main motor mount. So all fresh motor and transmission mounts, so we will see if that will make a difference when I give it a test ride. But yeah, we will have to see about that. Let's go ahead and change out the engine oil and refill the transmission with some proper gearbox fluid and see if I've fixed the leak. So I was just about to replace the oil filter with this new one from Bosch right here. This is the parts number. This should fit the Micra. I've even written it on it when I got it. But as we can see right here, the threads are damaged from factory. They're all smudged up. They're not sharp and pointy like they should be, as we can see on the old filter right here. So it wouldn't thread on. It's almost like someone cross-threaded it, but this one is completely new, straight out of the box. Luckily, I have another new filter from another brand, a cheaper one, but these threads seem to be okay. So yeah, I'm starting to get really sick and tired of bad parts from the box. But yeah, let's just keep on working.
When I first installed this gearbox, I just filled it up with some normal engine oil, then I drained it out, filled it with some cheap transmission oil that I could just find at the store, so it's safe to say that this gearbox should be clean as a whistle on the inside, considering it's already had 2 oil flushes. And then just one more thing I'd like to do before we go out for a test drive, and that is to replace this little PCV filter right here. This one was just an old low quality one that I found laying around in the garage, so let's go ahead and replace that to a good quality one from BMC Filters. I was hoping for around 10 to 15% increase in acceleration, so I was absolutely blown away by these results. And after 3 long test runs, I can finally confirm that the car is leak-free from the engine.
So now we finally have a leak-free Micra, which feels awesome, of course. The test drive went really well, super happy about how the car felt. Definitely feels like a small little go-kart, so it met my expectations. That was exactly what I was hoping for. So I really look forward to my first track day with this car, which should come up really shortly. Yeah, super happy about it for now. I'm just going to drive it up on the lift and double check everything. Check all of the bolts so I haven't forgotten anything, but I won't show you that. Instead, let's move on to the next thing on the to-do list, and that is to fix that nasty rust in the rear strut tower. So yeah, let's get right on to it.
Now, I've postponed this job for very long, so now is finally the time to tackle it. But for those of you who have been dealing with rust, you know that it's very time consuming, and the more you poke around, the more you'll find.
Now, before we continue any further, I just want to make one thing very clear. I am no professional body repair guy by any means. The goal with this repair is just, well, to not have a huge rust hole right there and to make it structurally sound. If it doesn't turn out pretty and looking like OEM, honestly, I don't care about that. I just want to make a proper structural repair, and if it turns out okay, then I'm very happy.
So the first thing I do is to grind down the surrounding areas to see how much rotten metal we need to cut out.
Okay, so I started to poke around a little bit more, remove this shield that was here, and of course the rust is much worse than I initially thought, which it always is. It's very rarely just a simple patch job. where you need to patch up a simple hole or anything like that. It's always more complicated than you think, especially with an old car that's been living in the salty roads of Sweden. So yeah, that's why I hate dealing with rust. But there's no going back now, so I need to patch up this area as well.
Luckily, the main beam seemed to be in good condition.
So a lot of cutting and grinding later, and I'm finally at a stage where I feel like I have removed enough rust and just dead metal to begin with the next stage. And that is to cut out some templates made out of cardboard or paper or something like that, so that I can transfer that onto some sheet metal and make the real pieces to patch everything up. So let's begin with that.
For the areas I won't be able to reach later, I'm just spraying that down with some weld-through primer for some rust protection. And then it's just a matter of slowly but surely tacking everything into place.
So there we go, the last piece of the puzzle is finally in, so now we're ready for the seam sealer and some paint. As we can see, there's still some space between some of the spot welds, but that's fine I think, because after all, we're gonna cover it with seam sealer and paint, and if you think about it from the factory, there are only just a couple of spot welds around every panel, so I think we will be good there. So yeah, stick with me and let's begin with the seam sealer and paint.
And let's also cover up and protect all of the wiring. And there we go. Of course, it's far from perfect. I am no professional panel worker by any means, but honestly, I'm very happy with the results anyways, and I think it'll hold up just fine. And that wrapped things up for this video. I'm really happy with how the Micra sits right now. I've actually gone ahead and booked in a track day here very soon, so I'll definitely post a video of that in the very near future if all goes well. So for this one, thank you so much guys, and I will see you in the next episode.